was like taped, then you broadcast it.
We
Straight
are
up
live. We are
Oh
live.
yeah, that's what I like, man.
Well, another episode of Hard to Guard TV. I just want to introduce you to a good friend, Mike Sala, co-founder of Solepack. Solepack is you want to explain what Solepack is, Mike?
Yeah, for sure.
All, how you been? What you been up to, and how did you survive COVID?
Cool, man. Of course, we'll cover it all, right, man? But pretty much, Solepack is my my heart and soul. I've been working on for over like 10 years. As the name says, it's pretty much created a whole, pretty much system of how to travel with your kicks. And for me, that stemmed from playing ball every day. And I used to go to NYU back in the day, and I just need a better way to travel with my sneakers. So I just started cutting up bags, and my first product I put out there, it's this patented shoe bag, and it's pretty much designed just to wrap around your backpack. So over 15 years ago that started, and we continue that journey, just releasing various products, and we're surviving, man. COVID's been a little crazy. Like, we were out in Chicago All-Star game last year, and things were popping, and then the world shut down for a year, man. So it's been a little tough, but counting our blessings like we always talk about, and just keep creative and keep trying to put new stuff out there with great folks like yourself and other brand partners, man. So thank you, man.
No problem. What's one of the crazy things though that I find that you're a physical therapist.
Yes, sir, man.
And that's your main job.
Yeah, man. I got my doctorate in physical therapy. Nonetheless, I got 2 degrees in PT, man. So I didn't stop one time. I had to go back for more, but my voice was calling, was doing starting up a small business. But I felt, this bag and this company needed a voice out there, and I happened to be that person leading that charge. So I'm here.
I was gonna say, how did like growing up, like you were going to school, become a physical therapist? When did you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur also?
I kind of, it hit me one time. I was working in the hospital, and I remember this vividly. This one girl talking. She's like, yeah, I don't want to be in this, I love the profession. I still love it to this day. But she was like, I've been here for 15, 20 years. She's like, I don't see myself doing anything different. I want to do something else, she said, but I've been here 15, 20 years. I don't know if I can get out of it. I was like, all right. So it kind of made me think. And at that point, I was like, yeah, I think I like being in the hospital, but I wanted to do a small business. So we ran a small business, like a private practice with other family members. So I had that small business. Just after that, I just started, like I said, and I just knew I always commit to things for the long term. So I knew I was chewing on some creative project 15, 20 years ago, and I just, sunk my teeth into it, and just little by little, just keep carving it out, man. And here we are. So it wasn't a big, a reveal, but I kind of slowly knew deep in my heart about 15, 20 years ago, I wanted to go into the entrepreneur field.
So you start going to the entrepreneur world, and you start building your bags. When did you know, like, how did you start, like, utilizing the money that you was making from physical therapy to start your own brand? And why did you call it Solepack?
Yeah, word up, man. I think, just to parlay your career in physical therapy, you make a decent living. So I was like, all right, I got to put this money to good use. So I was going, I was running from my job in the city to a small private practice I had. I was jumping into night school in the city for my doctorate degree. Then in between, I was running to the small, the fashion district to try to get patterns made, meeting with, small business industry folks that would give us samples here and there. I did that for like 1 to 2 years, man. Just like, you felt like you were going nowhere, man. Just like, you're getting these crappy samples back, and like, you almost felt like you were drowning. Like, but I was like, you got to keep just digging at it, man. Just keep going back at it. And one time,
it's a little janky.
Oh, my bad, man. Is it coming through, or?
Yeah, that's good now.
All right. Yeah. So just going in and out of the city, going to the fashion district all the time. It was crazy. It almost felt like I wasn't going anywhere. Then, one day I had a homie in the streetwear industry field. He's like, yo, why don't you try out my homie that does, some of our products. Within 2 weeks, I had this working sample of exactly how I envisioned shoe bag to wrap around a backpack, and that was probably 2010. And from there, Twitter was popping off a little bit, and we were working to come up for the name. I wanted it. I was naming it like all these different crazy names, like where NYU's gym was on Mercer Street. I wanted to call it Mercer, but 21 Mercer's there for Nike already. So I was like, me and my friend was just like, let's just call it something. I said I wanted to be something functional, like what the sole of the shoe is, and like a backpack. So you're like, why don't we just call it Solepack, man? And I was like, bet, let's go. So from that point on, around 2011, and Twitter's popping off, we just started making small runs, and here we are 10 years later. Just making more bigger runs, and extending our product line a little bit with 2 more products out there. So digging away.
Can you talk about your love for sneakers and why it's important to have a book bag where you put the sneakers in a specific place and it looks good and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure, man. Sneakers for me was always about growing. You know how it is, man. Growing up in the 90s, New York City, 80s, New York City. What you had on your feet was always an expression of who you are, what you were about. From b-boying, me and my bros used to always have the fat shoelaces on our sneakers, and just that love of shoes, going in sneaker shops every week, every day, every few days a week, man. And just creating, the smell of the sneaker, from then, how basketball ties into that, being a basketball head, everything just ties in for the love of sneakers, man. And for me, it was like just having that extra set on you was imperative to attack life here in New York City, man. Whether it was going to play ball and going to school afterwards, and as I got older, going to the ball, hitting up a party afterwards, man. It was always about, being flexible and functional in your environment, man. And just having that extra pair of kicks, I was like, I need to make a bag that carries an extra pair of kicks around for me and takes care of it. I went around all around 8th Street, Broadway, looking for a bag that packs sneakers. Every place I went, they're like, no one makes that. So I was like, all right, if no one makes that here in New York City, no one's got, I got to take care of that. And I just started cutting up all various backpacks and, putting together. I got a patent on something and, executed that a few years later.
How long did it take you to get the patent? And then how did you start selling? Did you start selling from the trunk of your car? Did you go from outdoors? How did that go?
Yeah, for sure. I got the patent. It took me, this is like mid 2000s. And again, I was pursuing my PT degree hard. I didn't want to make bags, man. I just wanted to, my initial concept was to have this patent and see if, the big companies, whether it's a Nike, JanSport, wanted to just license the idea for me. Right. Then that's when I started. That wasn't going anywhere. Then me and my friends were just saying, let's just make it ourselves. And I went down that road we talked about. But it took took about 2 or 3 years to get the patent. Just it got rejected the first time. Then the lawyer I was working with at the time, we had to reword it. Then we finally got it. I was like, oh shit, I got a patent going on, man. And so when I mentioned 2011, that's when Twitter started popping, and we just set up a WordPress site, and orders are trickling in through there and word of mouth. Man, I was, like you said, man, I'm a physical therapist. I'm there on Bowery Street with my backpack, a duffel bag, and selling little bags out of my bag on Bowery Street and and Delancey, man. So it's a crazy road, but like I said, just being committed to that dream, and just here we are, decades later, still going at it, man.
So when did you realize that you had you started putting like different designs on the bags, and how did you get into the NBALAB and
for sure
figure out new designs?
Yeah, I always wanted to, I felt like our bag, as functional as it is, also served as like a canvas for expression on it, right? Whether it's a team that rolls up into the gym, you there, E? So I was breaking up. Yeah, whether you're a team that wants to walk in a gym all laced out with a cool, innovative product that no one's ever seen before, that really connected to me. Or working with artists that like we said, growing up 80s, 90s, working with graph artists, street artists, to put it's like that white train, that coveted white train, right? So I wanted to have that canvas for those folks to imprint on. And you see someone in the subway with their graffiti piece on it walking down, for me that's everything, man. That's a new way of expression for those folks. And like just over the recent few months with all the social issues injustice issues going on. We work with a few artists that were able to express the where we are in the world as far as the need for equality to be voiced out and reached out more for underserved voices in the community. So, shout out to work with Babu the Painter from Toronto and Specified Fiction Jonathan down in Miami. All these guys have been able to bless our bags so recently. But that's pretty much we started selling there and just evolving. Then the NBALAB, they reached out to us. We reached out to them, of course, a few times, and just knocking on everyone's door. Then maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, they're like, you have a product that it's easy to connect the dots between a basketball player, sneakerhead, and it's never been seen before. And that's a niche that the NBALAB, the family over there, is just always kind of bringing things to the surface that hasn't been seen by mainstream media markets. So I'm glad to be working with those guys, and those guys are able to we did maybe about 15, 20 teams with various NBA teams. And, right now we're still rolling that out in various cities. So
the team, you have team bags. Are they sold at the arenas? Are they sold in the NBA store? How do they work that out with you?
Yeah, not yet. We're in contacts with a lot of the, again, everything was about to take off last year in March. Then arenas started shutting down. So we're in the process. We're reaching out to all the different arenas right now. And hopefully as 2022 comes around, I'm getting ready to see every, Solepack in every mainstream, main arena market, man. That's one of our dreams. So right now it's pretty much e-commerce. We're at thesolepack.com, and pretty much you can pick up any of our NBA kits right there right now. So
that's dope. So now, how do you promote your brand now if it's not in the stores? How do people go online? I know last year or 2 years ago you started doing stuff in the summer leagues. So yeah. How do you move around promoting the brand?
Just grassroots, man. Folks like yourself reaching out to everything has to. For us, like you said, if retail is not waging that big flag for us, we're all about reaching to the community, man, from everyone local here, all our basketball organizations like Hoops in the Sun, the homies at Hoops in the Sun, Venice Ball out west, NBA trainers out west, anyone that's going to give that organic stamp of approval for a product that fits into what they're doing is where we're connecting, man. It's with stores where the place is yet, man, since no one's ever seen a bag like ours before. So we bring it straight to the community, man. We work with in-game trainings in Harlem. Those folks have been showing love. Folks from the Bronx, Dave Seeger's out there, Hoopsville out in Jersey, all these folks local that show love to us, based on our love for the game. So New Jersey set that.
Have you dealt with any people in the hip hop entertainment world?
A little bit, yeah. We did, we did a little drop with the ASAP family recently. They did like a video shootout and up in Harlem with ASAP Ty and ASAP Ferg was up in the joint. So pretty much it was with the Drop TV folks. This brand new dope platform where it's like shoppable TV. You can watch the video and you can cop any of the items that you see in the video. So it was pretty dope that the ASAP family had us over there, and pretty much, yeah, I can't think of any off the top, any major other hip hop plays, but working with Bobito, you talk about crossing, all the areas that check off the list for us, man, from hip hop, sneakers to basketball, man. So that's where I first met you, E, man, back last year, man.
The 21 game.
21 New York City, man. That's right, yeah. Man.
So my thing is, like, what's the biggest obstacle, for Mike and overcoming the odds, and what are obviously some of the bonuses, but what's obviously some of the minuses that you always had to overcome that's frustrating and that you've learned from to make Solepack a brand?
For sure. I think what I alluded to before is, say if you want to get into the store, no one has that concept of, it's like that product you thought when you see it, like, oh shit, how did I not have this before? It's one of those, it's brilliant, but at the same time, we don't know where to place you type thing, man. So that's been the biggest obstacle. But pretty much, yeah, I knew from the beginning we're going to have these obstacles, and it's just always climbing that uphill battle because when you run into tournaments that are sponsored by Nike, Adidas, right? There's your big obstacle right there, where certain tournaments or leagues may not want to mess with any of their bigger sponsorships coming in, but blessed to all those folks that still mess with us. They may have their other sponsors, but like BG is able to bring us in on LES tournament there in the LES Express. All these guys still show love to us, the secondary sponsor like ourselves. We may not be headlining things, but we're blessed for all these small little bones along the way, as just to gain some notoriety, man. Because like I said, I'm in this for the long haul, man. And if we're able to connect the dots with some local grassroots orgs, that means everything for me versus going fast, mainstream too fast, and we're in like Walmart tomorrow, man. That don't mean nothing to me, man. For me, it's like I want to connect with all the things that influence me along the way and try to do things the right way.
Yeah, I want to ask, like, I always ask everybody, like, how much does local grassroots help a brand?
It's almost, yeah. How do you weigh that, right? How do you weigh that return on investment? A lot of it's, you hope for the best. You kind of trust your instincts. You trust the process. With Calvin too, right? At All Things Hoops, we trust that process. We don't know what tomorrow beholds, right? We have these great platforms like yourself, these projects, and that's the only way I think to go about bringing a product without like selling out, man, is to really go out and try to connect with what inspired you. And there is I can't give you a direct answer. Like if it's lucrative, I don't know. A lot of those things can't be weighed, but it's the only way I feel, I know how to go. And just like, other than basketball, for us, like connecting in New York is all these different running crews we're able to, hook up with, like the bridge runners locally here. And those guys are, the godfather, Mike Sala, shout out to Caps, Mike and Cedric from the yes, man. And same thing, man. OGs, hip hop, and running, man. He created the whole running, the running crew, evolution, man. So shout out to those homies, man. It's like those that means everything to me, man. If if sales don't come in, but just having the respect of those that came before us, means a lot to myself, man.
So, what do you think is the overall goal? Your short time goal, and what's the 3-year goal down the road?
For sure. Short term is, I want to have a lot of high school teams, AU teams that roll into their tournament from the 6th grade team to the high school team, all decked out in their team Solepacks. That's I think that's a low hanging fruit that we just got to keep tackling, man. So that just to have that further stamp on team sports, East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere in between. Then 3 years. After we keep establishing the brand awareness, is just to have more of that retail presence, man, where we're doing team sports wholesale, retail a little bit, but a lot of e-commerce stuff where folks are coming to us for a lot of the custom made, a lot of our handmade products, a lot of our artist products that I mentioned earlier, man. That's pretty much, I want to have that, all those, like a three-headed monster there, from team sports to lifestyle to a little bit of everything in between.
Do you have partners?
I have a few silent partners. I have some folks that we're bringing on that are going to be equity partners soon, but all on the small scale. We've entertained working with some NBA folks that wanted to come in for larger scale equity plays, but I think both of us were at the stage that I think we're going to wait like 1 or 2 more years till we get better solid footing in their contracts, as well as our just evolution in our business world. Because that the business side of things is always I'm juggling like 10 different balls, and the business side just it takes a little bit for me to sink my teeth into a little bit more.
I was gonna say, as a business owner, how do you gauge people to become like partners with what you're trying to do?
I think it has to be, I'm never going to be like I said, this is a long-term play for me. So I never jump into a long-term business play quick either. I like to test the waters with folks. If they're willing to, go down that road. It ain't pretty, man. You go down that road of nothing's guaranteed. You work hard at it. You try to create relationships. You see what webs they can create out of their networks. And, we talk about equity plays, and we talk about what things they bring to the table. And, if you're in it for the long haul, if you believe Solepack is, it's nothing for someone to come on board and create something for Solepack, right? They're not putting money in per se right now. They could leave a big stamp on a company that has a lot of uphill to it, man. So, I leave that in their court. And there've been a few people that have been like, hell yeah, man, I see the potential of what you're doing. I believe in it. And we believe in each other as people, right? For those partners that come in that way, and, we kind of vibe off and see where it takes us. Some people fall off. 6 months, we get in this conversation, they're all in. They're like, yeah, man, let's do it. I'm all in. Then, I ride it out. I'm like, hey, I'm here if you still need me, but then you kind of get a gauge, man. It's you see what works.
Yeah, I get it. So 3 years from now.
Yeah, 3 years still. Have a bigger play internationally as well. We have we're working with some folks in Europe to do some collaborative projects. So less than 3 years there, but I still like having that international play since. Our product is pretty much universal, and the soul of our product is something that anyone could relate to, like subculturally, like hip hop coming up, skating, urban running, street ball, all that stuff. I think that's pretty much the ethos of our company, of just never giving up. That streetwear side, that streetwear hustle of things is creating something from the bottom and never giving up. I think that story can be told not just here in the States but internationally too. So. 3 years, we look to have a big international play, if not sooner. But that, and just growing retail side, and just working with hopefully those NBA partners a little bit more, man. Not all good money. Not all money is good money either, right? You don't know what bigger pots hold. More money, more problems, man. So
I gotta say, at this point, what are you most proud of?
Me, man, honestly, is when I see my family and my little girls talk Solepack like it's part of the vernacular that they didn't know initially that was a brand that was out there that I created. They thought it was just a brand that was out there. And when I go see my nephews in Virginia tomorrow, they're more than supportive of the brand, and they think that the brand that it's in there that they're proud of as family. So everything to me for having my brothers, my family support my sisters. So all that stuff is the way is heavy for me. So
yeah, I was gonna say, do you put a lot of pressure on yourself to try to make this in the beginning, we try to be an overnight success, and then we realize that we're in this for the long haul. So put yourself.
For sure, man. This is there comes a time, like if you ever watch Shark Tank, right, or something else, they say either if you're not spending all your time on this, it's just a hobby for you, right? So watching those shows, just reading. I'm a big reader of all the entrepreneur stuff, and if you have to decide, there's going to be a point where you decide if you're just going to do it as a hobby, or you try to make a business out of it for a career, and to actually put food on the table for your family. So that's the point I'm at, man. Where I'm, you sleep 3 hours some nights, 4 hours, you wake up at 5, and you're packing bags. You feel like you're like I said, I have all these degrees in something else, but I'm waking up at 5 a.m, shipping out stuff to every part of the country, all parts of the world. So yeah, it's no doubt that stakes is high, man. So that's where I'm at.
I was gonna say, like on your mind, do you always say like, all right, monthly, I want to sell this amount of bags, or is there like a quarter? How do you strategize? Is it quarterly, 6 months, yearly, and then like how do you scale?
Yeah, I pretty much on 6 months to a yearly basis. I make it a point to touch base with one of my friends in the industry. We sit down, we talk, we see how far we've come in a year. And I'm pretty honest with myself, man. I don't want to be, if I feel that the company was going south, every year on occasion, I had to be real with myself as far as sales. You know, every year we seem to either it's, you know, 20% up some years, 30, 40% up. So I have to be real with myself, you know, as the business, whatever business acumen I have, you know, I don't want to fool myself. I don't want to, you know, risk my kids' life. I want to, you know, go back to my career if I have to. But, you know, I'm going in, stakes is high right now and trying to really make it. And, you know, every year I evaluate, man, we put so many different projects on the table that feel right, that do right. And those things just parlay into the next. And I think we're at a good stage, I think, before everything shut down last year to really scale that up. And I think we're resuming that right as of right now. So counting my blessings, E.
Now, where can people buy the bag? Where they can look at different type of bags? You know, how much? What's the price range of the bags? And
For sure. Pretty much our website is the go-to place. They're, you know, one-stop shop in the www.thesolepack.com. You can check out there. All through Instagram, we tag all our posts. A lot of our bags, you know, we do, you know, shout out to I Love Hoops, man, to Rudy over there and BK. So something like this, you know, our bags, this is one of them. This is our second bag, our GRF bag. We worked with a lot of, this is one we ran for Bob too. We created like the average, you know, cinch sack that we used to see at the parks every year, you know, like the famous Gauchos bag you hear about. So we created one ourselves, and we put our imprint of, you know, always keeping your sneakers separate, and you have like the main clean interior compartment. So that's one of these bags are like anywhere from like, you know, nothing crazy, but $30, something like that. We sell our whole kits, our whole backpack kits. So this is like the OG version of the bag that I first created, was just straight up a black backpack that you put your shoes in here and it wraps around any backpack. But last year I created this backpack. It's pretty much the mothership to all our SP1 side joints. I used to, you know, my homie used to have you know, 555 sole bag back in the day that, you know, I was really tripping over back in like the 80s and in the 90s, man. And I was like, yeah, I got to make one of my bags one day. And, you know, that one's kind of based off that bucket bag a little bit. And this is our these NBA joints, you know, shout out to Billy Kidd and the NBALAB fam. These same thing. You pretty much put your sneakers, left shoe, right shoe, and it wraps around any backpack or it goes onto our backpack.
Can you sell the bags now, the Knicks bags?
Yeah, Knicks, Nets, everything's up on there. We sell either individually or we put an option where you could buy it like directly as a whole kit. So the backpack and the kit on there. That's on the website right now. So yeah, feel free, man. Everything's up on there, man. We got the Lakers, Nets, Knicks, all the major Miami, a lot of moves going on in the NBA today, man. So we got all the major teams up on there.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I just want to, you know, I definitely wanted to put you, you know, get you to come on just to talk about the bags. I've always respected what you did. I love the bags personally.
Appreciate it, bro.
I think, you know, I tell people, buy Solepack. That's it. Buy Solepack.
Support small business, man.
Small business into a big business. That's my thing.
Right, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate that, man. Like I said, everyone leaves an imprint on this business as it takes off, man. So I appreciate the grassroots support, man.
No, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. Peace.